Hey, good morning. I'm Steve.
I'm Gary.
I'm John.
And this is
Chip's Garage.
What do we got, buddy?
Oh, we got a whole house full today.
We got unbelievable. Look at all this. We got a Chip's Garage car show going on today.
I tell you, I just said I need a few cars. Everybody shows up.
I know, unbelievable.
Well, I had to muscle them.
Yeah.
I promised that you were taking them to dinner.
You had to call on your Italian friend.
Yeah.
So what we got going on here, buddy?
Oh, we got this beautiful 32 Ford.
Yeah.
Three-window.
Yeah.
Suicide door.
I know.
And he did not buy it off the internet.
I know.
He hand-built it, him and his son-in-law.
Gary.
Me and John. John was my go-to guy to buy stuff. He pretty much decided what we're going to put on it. And
bunch of internet shopping and hunting down nonstop. So
at the best price.
At the best price.
Right.
Yeah, and lots of fabrication, right?
A lot of fabrication.
Yep.
Built the frame, built everything you see here. Started with 2 frame rails and went from there.
Awesome. Well, let's start going around.
And it's all mad money.
Matt, that's right. Explain your mad money there. Or
well, man money. She didn't know about it. That's what she calls it.
None of us do that, right?
Well, let's start from the front.
Okay,
we always
let's
start
go.
from the front. Come on up. You know, we all love our 32 Fords around here. I mean, we're just 32 Ford freaks. Gary, I've known Gary quite a long time, and I remember him parting out a Corvette saying he's going to build a 32 Ford, and I got the front end off it for my project. And
I put the differential, the Corvette rear end, the 700 R4 transmission out of it, and we put an LS motor in it. And John can tell you about the motor.
Right. It's a 5.3 liter LS, and it was tuned at Ramsey Performance. It has a sniper fuel injection on it, MSD ignition system.
Cam?
Yeah,
Small cam.
Yeah, it's a 580 lift lineated cam.
Streetable, very streetable.
Yeah, it's very streetable.
Right. And you took the regular fuel injection off from the original engine and put the intake and like you say, a sniper.
Right. Correct.
Over here.
Correct. And then all the headers and everything you see, like I said, Gary welded those all in house.
So those are custom hand built headers.
Yeah, it's pretty much the whole car is hand built except for the 2 frame rails.
And it took about 5 years, you said?
5 years.
Yeah.
Well, Gary is a master welder. Been welding for about a couple days now.
Yeah. Well, since
60s,
in the 50s, really.
50s. Okay. He's impeccable welds, all filled and frame. I used to go over there and do updates.
Well, again, you can see it along the bottom
beautiful.
there. And this is what you'd consider a Highboy, right?
Yes.
Would you consider this a Highboy?
Yes, above the frame.
Yeah.
And it's a 3-window.
Yeah, a 3-window. So you'll see the 3 windows as opposed to the 5-window like I have.
Now, if you come over here and look at the front end.
A Highboy, I guess.
Yeah, Highboy on the frame. But you can see how nice the front end is built. You got the dropped axle. You got the hairpins. You got the disc brakes. The car can go about anywhere. What's the longest you had at a trip?
Not that long, really. But I'm planning to do some trips.
You got air in it?
Air.
Heat. Okay. Nice, beautiful wheels. Your wheels are, there's a story about that, huh?
Well,
Jim's Auto Tire helped us out with all the offset spacing on the rims.
Okay.
He must have been over, 4 or 5 times getting the offset right for the back wheels.
Correct. We ordered up a bunch of steel wheels to have the same reveal on the beauty rings on the front and rear.
Oh, yeah.
Because that's a Corvette rear end and a Ford front end. Usually the Corvette rear tire is almost flush to the beauty ring, but we got the offset straight on so where you wouldn't know at first glance.
One of those touches. So these are Steelies with baby moons, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I love the old school look. That's how I like it to go.
Yeah.
Well, they brought up a good point. As you line this up, you want to make sure it's lined up just correctly and it tracks just right. You want the right spacer. Is that correct?
Right.
You don't want that tire sitting in here and your back tire sitting out here.
Right.
So the guy that Jim's is an expert on tires. It was nice enough to come over and help you with this, and it tracks beautiful, doesn't it?
It does.
Yeah.
And that's a big thing. Read up on it, viewers, when you're building something, because you can screw up really quickly, can't you?
Right, right. Now these are called wishbones, right? Isn't that what they're called?
Some people call them hairpins.
Yeah, hairpins.
Yeah.
And you can see the design of them like an old hairpin or a wishbone.
Right. And it has a heim joint on there too, so it swivels.
Right.
You know, because
right.
your front end's going to move.
Right.
Good. It's just, you can see all the other custom work that Gary has done and everything. And how was it getting a title, Gary? How was it?
Well, a friend of mine up in North Florida has passed away, and he had an old 32 sitting in his pasture, and his wife signed the title over to me. I went and registered the title, paid for the title, and when it came time to title the car, I just went down there and titled the car.
So it's a 32 title.
32 title.
Awesome,
Right,
awesome. Right. And you can see here, you know, he's got the VIN number here. You don't want to get it
it's all
close
legal
up on
or everything.
anything.
It's all,
yeah, yeah.
You know?
Now these are called what?
Yeah,
silencers.
Cut out.
Yeah, cut out. So you can unscrew these bolts, take that off, and you essentially got open headers, right?
Correct.
Yeah, I could drive all the way home and you could still hear me.
Yeah,
that's right.
that's right.
I want the viewers to look at this. This is how much of a craftsman, and I always enjoy looking at everything of his. Okay, here's a piece of stainless. Okay, most people put the chrome around there, chrome, you know, windshield frame around there. They do leak. You know, but he glued the window in and he made this piece of stainless to look like the chrome windshield and glued that in.
So that's all handmade.
Look at it. It's all handmade up here.
It's unbelievable.
It's beautiful. It's a perfect. I'm going to do the same on mine.
I want to bring up a real quick point about this because we're losing, and I'm sure you guys are familiar with this, people learning these skills. And you have a student that we're going to introduce here. You might want to introduce him now.
Come on up, Justin. We go back right here. Over 20 years ago, he was my student. Now he's 34. I can't believe it. You know? But he was a gearhead. He had an SRT 8 back then.
Yeah.
He rolled it. He was still a gearhead back then. His mother was a gearhead. His grandfather and I known each other for years, all gearhead family. But I invited him up. He couldn't wait to come up and be part of this. And he loves it up here today, don't you?
Oh, yeah. I love it. Great weather, great cars. No better place to be.
Right. Well, we always say this, buddy. Teach the younger generation. Get them involved. Show them your cars. Teach them your skills. Take them for a ride. Let them sit in your car. We got to keep this going. And the only way we're going to do it is to share it with the younger generation and teach them our skills.
Right.
I mean, how many people do you know that know your skills?
How'd you learn how to weld, John?
There you go. Here's an example. Here's one generation. There's another generation.
Now he knows where I live after all these years.
and let's give a shout out to Tara at floridacarshows.com.
Thank you.
They're also promoting Chip's Garage, but they're promoting the same thing, the car culture.
Yes.
Let's keep it going. You can sign in flacarshows.com, and they can send you a monthly newsletter that tells you about the shows going on and articles and all that kind of stuff.
They got the nice article on your car.
They did one on the 32 in February.
Thank you, Tara.
Thank you, Tara. Okay. Suicide doors. Let's talk about the doors and the inside here.
Well, I've got
secret here, secret password, ABC or something like that. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Love your mirrors. Okay. Come on over here.
Yeah. For those of you that don't know, the suicide doors, of course, open backwards. And why do they call them a suicide door?
Would it hit a bump and it'd fly open and you'd fly out?
Well,
I have no idea.
Or somebody, they were dangerous because anybody coming this way, of course, or like you said, driving forward.
They'll flop open this way and you fly out.
And this, or this is going to catch on something.
I've got them tight because I don't have a lot of, I'm afraid of hitting a toolbox or something. I don't want them swinging all the way open.
Oh, yeah.
I
like how proudly he puts his shirt on.
Well, let's show the viewers the interior and just tell us about it as we look at it here.
Yeah, that's all the door open, so you have to be careful.
Yeah.
Tell us about the interior. I remember when you sent it down there, it was a couple dollars that cost you, a couple jobs that cost you, huh?
Yeah, it was
a few bucks.
It was not all that expensive in the real world of what people pay, but
we got to help with Jim Shonstra helped us out.
Yeah.
Beautiful color. Yeah. It's a beautiful, it's just perfect with this maroon.
And what is that? Is that actual leather?
No, it's not. But it's been my experience that this new fabric or new.
It's pleather, right?
Oh, pleather, okay.
It looks better longer.
And it's softer.
Softer.
I think it's softer than regular leather.
Well, what seats did you use? That's viewers always ask, what seats in these custom cars?
Oh my goodness.
You remember?
We actually went and if you can believe it, we wanted the bolsters to fit good. We didn't want them too short, and we wanted to be able to take the headrests off so it was clear of the window. If you can believe it, we went to a junkyard and we searched a whole bunch of cars, and those are actually import seats.
Okay.
Really?
Yeah.
But we got limited space, so we had to. One of the tools we carried to the junkyard was the tape measure.
With the tape, and we seriously measured, the back of Gary's side, his backside, and we set it in the car and made sure they weren't touching each other, because we really were just super critical during the whole build. We would go sit in other cars. We would go to where they sold 3 windows, and we saw one that had only 1 wiper on the front. We said, no, let's do 2. We didn't like how the hairpins were hanging down on some of them. We said, no, let's tighten that up. Nice. When that part got done. But that's kind of how the whole car got put together. Even the Corvette rear end, that's all custom done, via Gary. A lot of these come with a kit that makes you chop the original frame. Gary actually fabricated the rear end to fit into the frame. And
beautiful fit.
If you come over and take a picture of this here, you can actually see this is actually called a dog bone for a 4-link rear suspension, and it actually is recessed into the frame, and Gary's fabricated all these brackets to fit it in there nice and neat, and it actually looks like a factory job.
I want to bring a point up here that you can go and Google things and learn things online, but all these little things they're pointing out here are the tricks of the trade that you can't get. And that's why it's so important for us to share it with people, but also the younger generation and women to get involved and learn these little things, because they're what really makes the difference. This is an unbelievable custom build right here. Unbelievable. How many hours do you guys think you got in this, roughly? Just to get,
a lot of hours.
A lot of hours.
A little beer, a little bit of beer.
We call it good family time.
A good family time.
Quality time, Not a lot of guys can say that they got the quality time in with their father-in-law. It's always good to have a good relationship with the in-laws. Not a lot of people. I tell them, how many people can say that they built a car with their father-in-law? So it was great opportunity, and like I said, he's passed it all down to me. So I do a lot of welding now that I would have never thought. I moved to Florida 34 years ago as a computer technician. Yeah. And now I'm 100%. I weld. I do all kinds of construction work and maintenance, and we call it, blue collar.
Yeah.
That's blue collar going.
Well, let's move around to the back here, and we want to show again as we look underneath the car to show all the suspension and rear end. Why don't you describe what we got going on down there? Because there's a lot. Maybe even get up under close there so you can show them.
Yeah, we actually custom fabricated the exhaust. That's all one piece. It bolts. It hangs in the back and actually travels all the way to the front, and it hooks up there. But that's all homemade from my house and in my shop. The rear end, there's a whole bunch of bracketry in there that it's hard to point out. But the rear leaf spring adjustment, that's all been changed over to fit the car. There's also some bump stops that you can see on the side here that Gary fabricated for the rear end, it didn't bottom out.
And that's a Corvette rear end from what year?
An 84 Corvette.
84. All right, 84 Corvette.
Yeah, C5.
Yeah. What I like is Gary built all this, and he built me a set. First thing I did with my frame is put it together, put these on there, and I like it. But these, what's nice about stainless, you can wet sand these and buff them, and they come out beautiful.
Right.
But he built everything. He's just such a master at this. It's a beautiful car. But we do want to show something else that you built that blew my mind.
Yeah. Let's open the trunk and show them what you got going on there, buddy.
I said, "Where'd you buy it?" He laughs.
Yeah. He brought the exhaust.
Yeah.
He brought the exhaust out through the center together, which is also similar to the Vet, right?
It is.
Yeah.
Yep.
This here, Gary built all this by hand. I mean, you know,
Yeah, tell us
machined
about
it and everything.
Gary.
Tell us about it.
Well,
Gary.
still have it, an electric opener, but it just wouldn't get the height, and I didn't want to move it way in here to get the height because of the pressure on the hinges. I didn't trust that idea.
Good.
But it's one of those little compressors you fill your tires with.
Yeah.
12 volt.
Yeah, awesome. And I noticed you got a treasure chest in
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
So
Is that where you put
take
your
a
money?
look at this and what he's got behind it here.
It's not your
battery
money.
box.
Yeah, look in here what it's all about, the battery
That's
box,
cool.
what he's got in there.
Got extra fuses.
Fuses.
A little flashlight in there.
It works perfect with color and everything. With
And
it.
I like the custom interior back, if you will, in the trunk there, the design and what you got.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Well, nobody's mentioned the paint.
Yeah.
We're
lot of
getting to
people-
that. We're getting to that.
A lot of people are.
Tell us about
That's one of the first things they say is the paint. Well, a very good friend of John's and mine,
Yeah, Carl
Sted's, actually came and we thought, well, we're done. And he'd get his chalk out and go over it again. We'd do all that, and we thought, well, he can't find anything this time.
Right.
Oh, buddy.
We blocked it like six times.
And one day he came with his chalk and just couldn't find anything.
we couldn't believe it. Basically ran through the yard with our hands in there like a Rocky scene.
And you were saying how you picked the color?
Yeah, we just went to through a new car dealerships and found a color
awesome
that
color.
we really loved.
Yeah, cinnamon red. We kept looking and looking. There was the newer colors got crazy because they're like 4-stage, and we wanted to keep it as simple as we could because this literally got sprayed in a Harbor Freight tent in my backyard, you know, mocked up,
Unbelievable.
portable, and like I said, there's a lot of blocking involved. We actually wet sanded the frame and polished it.
Yeah, they look
And
nice.
you know, as you could see earlier in the video, underneath the car is just as pretty as above. So
Well,
that's all the man hours.
Did you say that you didn't have to wet sand and buff this?
I wet sanded.
Oh, did you?
I did.
But it wasn't bad, huh? When you
No,
sprayed
it
was
wasn't.
pretty.
No, we
Okay.
really could have went down the road, but I'm
Yeah.
not a big fan of the orange peel because
Yeah.
I learned this way. I actually wet sand and rubbed brand new painted cars. People thought I was crazy when I was younger, but as soon as you learn something, you want to do it. So.
Sure.
Right,
Exactly. Exactly.
And we need to point out this is a fiberglass body.
Yep.
Yeah.
There's no roof drip rail.
Right.
Okay. There's no fill in like mine has a
Right.
big hole in it.
Right.
Because old Henry Ford couldn't get the dies.
Right.
And the cheapest of old Henry Ford.
Well,
Right.
I think we need to crank this thing up and listen to it.
Let's hear this.
Let's hear what we got going on,
Let's hear it.
and once we start up, let's get to the back and hear it from the back as well, because that'd be the best sound back there, won't
Yeah,
it?
for sure.
Let's hope it starts.
Let's hope it
It's
starts.
a Chevrolet.
Hey, it's a hot rod.
Yeah.
It's any hot rod, right?
Yeah. Well, you got a crank hole up front, you know, if you ever need it.
Yeah. Electric fuel pump.
Yeah.
Whoa!
What was that?
Technical error. There we go.
There you go. It's a hot rod.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, right. He's got a serpentine belt, we'll point out. You can see his AC down at the bottom, the starter on this side, but let's listen to it back here.
Wow. Listen
He
to
hit
that.
the throttle a little bit?
Good, a little throttle. Now, John, does it have a stall speed in it?
It does. It's got about a 2200 stall.
2200.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, that sound.
Oh, I love it too. Well, guys, we're about out of time. So I'm Chip.
I'm Steve.
I'm Gary.
I'm John.
And this is
Chip's Garage.
See you, buddy.
All right, thank
Beautiful,
you.
man. Thank you.